Afternoon, folks. I'm Dave Canterbury with Self-Reliance Outfitters in the Pathfinder School. And out here at the Pathfinder School in Southeast Ohio, we teach lots and lots of courses from basic, intermediate, and advanced survival, bushcraft 101, ropes and rigging, wild, edible, and medicinal plants, wilderness first aid, CPR, ropes and rigging, and lots of other classes you can choose from under the training tab at selfrelianceoutfitters.com. We just finished a basic class this morning, a 3-day class here at the Pathfinder School, our first basic course of 2025. It went fantastic. Students had a great time, and we had fun training with those students. As always, we enjoyed those training days with students. That's what we live for here at the Pathfinder School, is the training. We try to keep it real. We try to keep it realistic. We train as if it were real, and we have a great time doing it. So come join us for a class in 2025. Now, to today's video, I'm going to continue with my series on the top 5 short-term survival firearms. Now, this next one in the line will not surprise anyone who's watched my videos or followed me for any length of time at all. And I would consider this both a short-term or long-term survival type firearm. And that is the single-shot 12-gauge shotgun. Just simple, break open, single-shot 12-gauge shotgun. Now, you can kind of pick your poison on these things as far as the brand goes that you want to buy. I probably own 25 or 30 single-shot shotguns. There are some things I like better about some of them than others. Believe it or not, I did a review on this Stevens 301 shotgun a couple years back, maybe something like that, and I've had a lot of people ask me to follow up with that, okay? Since that time, I've shot boxes and boxes and boxes of ammunition through this gun, and I absolutely love it. It's one of my favorite single-shot shotguns, and I've been an H&R guy for a long, long time. H&R shotguns are no longer made, but that's beside the point. I still have several. I still buy them if I find them at the right price. But this Stevens 301 is just a very handy single-shot 12-gauge to have around, and I want to talk to you about some of the features and why I like it so well. But let's talk about single shots in general and why they're so versatile, because in my mind, a single-shot 12-gauge shotgun is the most versatile firearm on the planet. Number one, you can shoot a variety of 12-gauge loads, from birdshot to buckshot to slugs and everything in between out of this gun. You can buy adapters for this gun that fit the chamber to reduce your cartridge size from 12-gauge to 20-gauge to 410 in a stack pack from Short Lane Arms. You can get 8-inch rifled adapters in lots and lots of pistol calibers, from 9mm to 38, all the way to rimfire down into 22 Magnum and 22, that are 8-inch rifled adapters that will fit this gun to shoot that type of ammunition if you're trying to match a sidearm that you're carrying with you, and that works out very, very well for me, and it's what I do most of the time. I try to match a single 8-inch sleeve, rifle sleeve, to whatever firearm I'm carrying at the time for the shotgun to just increase its versatility that much more. The other thing that a lot of people don't know about these is you can get an adapter for these things, or you can create yourself a primer plug, a plug for the breech here with a 209 shotgun primer. You can also buy that from Short Lane Arms, or you can create one yourself, and I've shown that in videos in the 21st Century Long Hunter series. And you can then muzzle load this shotgun from the top to create a muzzle loading shotgun. That works very, very well. So there's almost nothing you can't do with a 12-gauge. And anything that won't jam in the barrel pretty much will shoot out the other end if you muzzle load it. 12-gauge shells are also very easy to reload. The components are not expensive, and it's very easy to reload them yourself. I have lots of videos on that in different playlists of the 21st Century Long Hunter as well. So that kind of explains the versatility of a 12-gauge. Now, things that will help your 12-gauge with versatility are screw-in chokes, okay? This one has screw-in wind chokes. They're not rim chokes, they're wind chokes. Nonetheless, you have screw-in chokes, which means you have the ability to change the pattern on this gun no matter what load you're shooting out of it, other than a slug, obviously. And you can put turkey chokes, modified chokes, go cylinder bore chokes, full chokes, whatever you decide's best for you, just adds to the versatility of this firearm. They're fairly easy to store ammunition in, and you can do things lots and lots of different ways. One of my favorite ways to store ammunition with the gun is to just buy these Velcro strips that hold 12-gauge shells. and then put an opposite side Velcro strip on the buttstock, and I can just slap it on there with 5 shells. I've got 3, 4 shots and 2 slugs on here. Again, depending on what you're hunting, you may have all 6 shots on there. Depends on what you're hunting and what your preference is, all right? This is just a sample load. I've got 4 or 5 of these preloaded that I use when I'm hunting, and it's easy to stash a couple of those preloaded in your backpack as well to just pull out and slap on the gun, because the only downfall of the single shot really is the fact that it's a single shot. Follow-up shots aren't very quick. However, when you've got the ammunition right here, it's fairly quick to load and unload this gun, and you can get a follow-up shot fairly quickly if you need it. Now, let's talk about this Stevens 301 and some of the features it's got that make it stand out to me as one of the most awesome short-term or even long-term firearms you can own. Okay, so one thing I would say about this before we even talk about features is cost. There are shotguns on the market that are cheaper than this shotgun that don't have the same features that this one has, which we'll talk about in a few minutes. But for a brand new shotgun, it's one of the cheaper shotguns on the market to buy. Well under 200 bucks for a brand new gun. Now, features. We already spoke to the screw-in chokes. To me, that makes a difference, right? I like the screw-in chokes over something that's simply a modified or a full choke full time. I want something that I can change the chokes in. So that's a plus. As far as the barrel goes, you have a bead sight, but on the back of this, you also have an area here that becomes a sighting device when you lock the gun down that you can look over the top of when the hammer is withdrawn, and you can use this as a sight to line up with the front bead sight. Most shotguns, not all, most shotguns don't have that feature. H&Rs do not have that feature, okay? So that's one thing that I really like about it. It comes standard with sling swivels. Many shotguns nowadays do not come standard with sling swivels. This one does, all right? Another bonus. The other thing I really like about this firearm is it's a no-tool takedown. It has a button that you push on the front that drops the handguard off. And once you do that, it releases the barrel. So now I can take this barrel completely off the gun, which is a huge advantage to me if I'm cleaning this gun, that I can remove the barrel all the way from the gun as a separate piece. Now I can also take this handguard and snap it back onto this gun, and it's in 2 complete pieces. So it's much more compact than some of the cheaper 12 gauges that are on the market that have a swing pin in the middle. And when you break it down, all it will do is fold. It doesn't really come completely apart, which I think is important, not only for storage, but also for cleaning, all right? As far as putting it back together goes, it is the simplest thing on the planet. The thing goes together like a dream. I mean, it is definitely like a 10-second takedown to take this weapon down to clean it, all right? So that makes a difference to me as well. The fact that it's no tool takedown, the fact that it breaks into completely 2 pieces for packability's sake, those are all important features to me. It has a nice rubber pad on the back, a recoil pad, and I've shot everything out of this gun from 8-shot to slugs to muzzle loading this gun with everything from round ball to molded sinkers to BBs to shot. And this thing has never, ever given me a problem, and it has never hurt this gun one bit to do that. This is a heavy-duty, fairly bulletproof gun. Now, the one thing that I hear a lot of complaints about with the 301 is that it does have a safety, okay, right here on the side. I'll be honest with you. I've had this gun for probably 3 years, and I've never used that safety. I've never put it on. I've never taken it off. I've never bumped it into place, so it doesn't bother me that it's there because I just ignore it. If you want to use the safety, once you cock it, if you put the safety on, even when you pull the trigger and the hammer comes forward, it does not make contact with the firing pin. So the gun will not shoot, and you're going to have to cock it again and take it off safe and put it on fire to fire the gun. But again, I never have accidentally bumped this thing. I've never even had the gun on safe other than to show someone like I did just now. I've never put that gun on safe. So the people that complain about that just could learn to ignore it for the price tag. When I bought this brand new, it was at less than 130 bucks. They may be more expensive than that now 3 years later, but they're definitely way under 200, okay? And if you buy one used, you can probably get it for 100 bucks. I wouldn't doubt it a bit or less. Now, the other thing I like about this gun is that the stock and the furniture are this ABS material, but they're really heavy duty ABS. It's not, I would just about be willing to bet that if this thing's hollow, if it's hollow, it's probably that thick, the plastic is, because the thing is fairly heavy. This piece here is a solid piece of plastic. Again, I mean, you got a couple cavities in there. If you wanted to sneak a ferro rod storage in there or something like that, you probably could do it. You're not going to beat this thing up in the woods by banging it against a tree or whatever the case may be, because it's just built heavy duty. And to me, the Stevens 301 deserves a place in the top 5. The single shot definitely does, but the Stevens 301, above many, many other single shot 12 gauges, deserves a place in the top 5. Listen, guys, I appreciate you joining me for this video today. I thank you for your views. I thank you for your support. I thank you for everything you do for a school, for a family, and for a business. Be sure to stop by selfrelianceoutfitters.com to fill your camping needs for this year, whether it's cookware, fire starting, hammocks, tarps, all those types of things we carry at selfrelianceoutfitters.com. And I'll see you guys on the next video. Thanks.